Okay, so you just got your camera, and if you're serious about your photography or videography, I believe that there are some essential accessories that you really do need. So in this video, we're gonna go over some of the accessories that I find personally that it is super useful to have. Okay, so I don't think it really matters which type of content that you like to make, right? Whether it be landscape photography or portrait photography, it doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, what I find most useful to have in your inventory is going to be your tripod, right? You want to make sure you have one of these in your toolkit just because it's going to allow you to have that smooth video as well as make sure that you have those stable shots as well. Just make sure that when you are looking to find a tripod, make sure that it is going to be stable, well built, but also lightweight, right? Just because you want to reduce the amount of weight that you're carrying with your photography kit, because honestly, as you get more and more stuff, and I know you will, it's going to get really heavy, and you just don't want your tripod to be the one thing that's also weighing you down too much. So as a photographer and a videographer, you want to make sure the second thing that you have in your kit is going to be extra batteries, right? It doesn't matter if you're carrying 1, 2, or 3, or 4. You just want to make sure that you have some in your kit because you never ever want your camera to die, right? Whether it be in the middle of a video shoot or you're about to take a really nice shot, like a photography shot, not a you just want to make sure that your camera doesn't die on you in the middle of like a critical moment. So the third thing that you want to have in your kit, if you're a beginner photographer or videographer, alongside with the extra batteries, you want to have extra memory cards, especially if you're a videographer, because your recordings are going to take up a significant amount of storage, and you obviously don't want to run out of storage mid-shoot. So you always want to make sure you carry extra one of these, especially make sure that it is going to be a high-speed SD card, just because it's going to make your transferring of files so much more efficient. Now there's an honorable mention regarding memory cards is that, and I didn't really put it on the list because for me personally it's not a huge deal, but for you it might be. It is the SD card memory reader, and that essentially you can plug in the SD card and you can plug that reader into a specific external device like your phone or your laptop or whatever, so you can kind of work on your footage wherever you are at the time, right? For me personally, not a huge deal because my work doesn't require me to take everything out right away and then send it over to them. No, I can come home, I can put it into my MacBook, and then I can work on it, and then I can send it off to the clients when they need it, right? But for me personally, not a huge deal, but for you it might be. So just thought I'd do an honorable mention of that. So another item that you might want to consider putting into your photography or videography kit would be a strap. It doesn't necessarily have to be a wrist strap. You could obviously have like the neck strap, depending on whichever is more comfortable for you. So I did make a video about this previously, and I really do prefer wrist straps over neck straps, but only just because when I am shooting, I tend to get really warm, and when I get really warm, I start sweating a little bit, and on my neck, especially when I have a neck strap, it honestly is not a comfortable feel. So that's personally the reason why I don't really like it that much. Obviously it kind of frees up your hand more when you have a neck strap, so it kind of is a give and take, right? Whichever you prefer, right? For me, I do prefer wrist straps because I don't really require too much work with my hands. Like I don't need to move things around or furnitures around or models around or anything like that. So for me, it's a lot easier to just have a wrist strap, and if I need to let my camera dangle on my wrist, that's fine, I can do that. But I just personally really hate the feeling of neck strap on my sweaty neck. So that's kind of the reason why I don't really like to do it. But either way, whether it be a neck strap or a wrist strap, you just want to make sure that your device is going to be protected. And finally, my bread and butter, my last thing that I would definitely include into your kit is going to be an SSD, right? This thing saves you so much space onto your computer. So I found that when I was first working on videos and photos, I would just load them all into my MacBook, and then I would try to work Lightroom or Final Cut Pro on my MacBook itself with having all those files in it. And honestly, I feel like it was almost bricking my entire computer because there was just so much storage that was being used up. And for me, my workflow now is after I go to a shoot, and I take videos or photos and I come home, I immediately take the SD card and take all the files that I have and I just put it into an external SSD, just because it's really going to help boost the performance of your computer, especially if you already have a not so good computer to begin with to work on. It's really going to boost that efficiency a little bit at least. In my opinion, it's much better to just take all the files, put it into an SSD card and edit all your photos through the SSD inventory rather than using up the actual storage of your device, right, your computer, just because it's gonna slow everything down. So basically that's really it. I mean, are there going to be more accessories that you need? For sure. Would it be nice to have like a light box? Would it be nice to have like a boom mic? Of course. But those are the things that I feel like you need maybe a little bit later down the road, especially if you're going to be doing content creation. But I think personally, if you're going to be a photographer and a videographer, aside from your camera, the things that I mentioned today are really going to be the things that you really need in order to kind of boost that efficiency and make sure that, you know, you're going to be performing at your very best. I think as creatives, you kind of get sucked into the latest and the greatest, right? There's so many knickknacks and so many gadgets that are coming out nowadays, and obviously the marketing does a really good job as well. And you just feel like, oh, maybe I could get that and then it would boost my efficiency, or maybe I can get that and it would improve my performance, right? But at the end of the day, I feel that the ones that I mentioned today are going to be your fundamental basics that you definitely need to have, especially if you're going to be shooting for a long time, right? Once you get to a point where you work with clients that require multiple photos, multiple video shoots, etc., you really want to make sure that your workflow is really set, and you can only find that after you continuously do it for a little while. So just kind of go with it, go with the flow, see what you need, see what you don't need. But for me, that's essentially what I would recommend. So that's it for me. If you have any other questions, let me know, of course, down in the comments below. I'll try to get to them as soon as I can. And of course, as always, I'll see you next time.